Hi guys and welcome back. Today we have to talk about something that has not happened many times for Bitcoin here, but right now it's happening again. And of course, we're also going to talk about few altcoins. So if you want to make a lot of money, stick around here. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, like this video, and also activate the bell so that you will never miss out on these really important updates. And now let's directly jump into it. I want to start off with the Bitcoin CME chart, and here, exactly as I predicted yesterday already, we are going down here a little bit to fill this CME gap, and we are doing it really slowly, which shows me that a bigger correction from the bottom of the CME gap might not be happening, because as we go slowly down, the indicators are also coming slowly down, which increases the chances for a massive reversal back to the upside once we have completely filled the CME gap. So here is still, okay, technically you can argue that the CME gap is more or less closed. Let me show it to you guys here. So I had to move it a little bit up. So technically it's closed and we are bouncing back to the upside. So if you really want to argue that it's not, no, there is no argument anymore. It is closed. It's closed. So, okay, so the CME gap is out of the way and we see here a small bounce already happening, so which I was also expecting. Due to the fact that we were anyway going really slowly down here to fill this CME gap overall. When we're looking at the liquidation levels, again, more and more low leverage shorts are building up here above us, but also more degenerate people going with over leverage here long, expecting a push to $50,000 and above. Before this is happening, I can imagine that we see a small correction back to like 47, but there's not a lot of leverage, at least here based on this indicator, to be taken out. Not a lot of liquidity, but it might be different on the liquidation heat map that I'm going to show you now. Yeah, okay, so if we move down to like $46,700, there is $502 million in long liquidity to be taken just at that specific level. So if I add here everything together, yeah, we are getting like over $1 billion worth of potential long liquidations. And here, because there's the biggest level, from there I would also expect a big bounce back to the upside. So $1,000, $1,200 move to the downside could be in the cards here, even though I don't believe that we are getting this here over the next couple hours. It just doesn't look like it. Looks more like that we're just consolidating here a little bit before we get the next leg to the upside. What I wanted to show you is this here, the Bitcoin long-term holder ratio. So what's happening here is, so you see here in blue, the short-term holders profit to loss ratio, and then you see here in black the Bitcoin price, and then you see here different phases. So the higher the risk, and you see it here, risk high band in red 3.5, risk mid band 1.5, risk low band 1. That is here reflecting the colors. Let me explain you what it means. The higher the risk on the band, so the hotter the band is, so to say, the less people are taking profit right now, while they are holding a lot of profit. So basically they just let it ride, and along the way they're not taking profit. This is technically a good sign, because if nobody is taking profit, of course they can lose some money. So, but normally what happens, there's no sell pressure. If nobody is taking profit, from where should come the sell pressure? Miners not taking profit, retail not taking profit, institutional player not taking profit. So what's going to happen? The only thing that's happening is people continuously buying. Also the ETF issuers continue to keep buying, so the price goes only one way, and this is up. So, and that's why this is a quite bullish chart here for me in the short term. So, and the last time that we were here at these kind of levels was in here 2 years ago, in summer 2 years ago. And then before that in 2020. Here you see that a little bit clearer when we were here in these high risk areas. So you see here in September 18, then here in 2020, 21, basically close to the top. Then here again in autumn 21, end of 21, where we had then finally the top. Then here January 23, and now we are again in that area where we have a lot of risk in the market and nobody is taking profit. Again, that is something bullish, and it's happening a lot of times just before a bull run, because people start hodling their coins and are not interested in the long run to take any profits before we hit a new all-time high or shortly after or before that. When we're going back to the Bitcoin chart, here, what I would like to see in the short term is that Bitcoin gets above the monthly pivot here of $49,047, which I pointed out yesterday. But when we're looking here at the indicators, we see MACD is slowly losing steam. The stochastic RSI is going down. The RSI is about to go down here. So if we see something like this here, RSI coming down, Bitcoin gets a last push to the upside. So what do we have then? So we have then a bearish divergence. And that could be here on the daily, then be the signal that we are ready for a small correction to the downside. So when do I believe that this is going to be happening? Not now. I believe that this will come later, once we are close to 50 or even above $50,000. Please remember, here is the golden ratio that I'm looking for to really tap into it, to trap a lot of people that are bullish, so because retail will think if we go here above the golden ratio, because they don't know about the golden ratio, they just see $50,000, then we will continue now to pump to a new all-time high or close to the old all-time high. But what's going to happen is the smart money will let that money come in and push it up a little bit to like 52, 53, around these levels, and then roll it over, and then we get a correction to the downside. So and that is also the reason why I still have here that potential scalp trade, and also at the same time a hedge short once we are getting into these levels. So I'm gonna play both sides in that scenario. So this is still valid here, guys. Then the other thing that I wanted to show you guys, altcoins. But before that, don't forget, guys, if you want to trade these trades with me, do it on BYBIT or on BitGet. On BYBIT, you used to get $30,000, and on both platforms, you have the possibility to get a debit card. If you don't know how to trade, then go to CoinW or to FAIRDESK. There you can copy trade me. On FAIRDESK, you still get $120,000 as a sign-up bonus, which is the highest in the industry. You find all these links in the pinned comment in the description of this video below. And if you want to learn from me how to properly trade, then go to amcrypto.us. There's my educational program, and there I'm going to show you exactly how I analyze the charts and how you can make even more money. So now when we talk about altcoins, here's also something happening that I had mentioned before, and that is that the dominance broke here or touched 54%. Remember, I told you that if we come up here to this downward sloping trend line, that I believe from there we're going to see a turnaround back to the downside. And in the worst case, if it's not happening from here, it will happen from this horizontal level here, which is at 54.31%. And I also had mentioned now multiple times, we will only touch that level up here when we're going to approximately $50,000, which we haven't done yet. We are close, but we are not there yet. So something else where we should become a little bit cautious with Bitcoin is if we see the dominance starting to drop, but Bitcoin goes then actually to $50,000. In the first moment, we'll think, oh yes, that's nice. Bitcoin goes up, altcoins are going up, dominance is going down. But this might be quite dangerous because it could be an early sign of a top for a Bitcoin, which doesn't mean that altcoins cannot continue to run when this is happening. We have at that moment to be a little bit careful. So what I rather see is Bitcoin going finally to $50,000, take the dominance up to 54.3. Then Bitcoin goes a little bit down, goes sideways, and then we see dominance actually breaking down and altcoins going up, and Bitcoin just goes sideways between 45 and 48 or something like this. The total market cap also got rejected at the $1.79 trillion level that I was talking about, which is not inherently bearish right now. remember, I also said here I would like to see some consolidation before we smash through that and go to $2 trillion, which might now be the case. The only thing that I would like to see is that this candle by the end of the week is green, the way that it is right now, because that would mean that we most likely get next week a continuation candle to the upside, which brings us above the $1.79 trillion level in the total free. Now, Ethereum looks like that we potentially now put in the B of the ABC correction. But for this, I would like to see the Monday low to be broken of $2,469. Only if the low is broken, I will start looking at shorts. As long as we are above the Monday low, we could just be ranging a little bit between the golden ratio and the Monday low until we break the golden ratio and continue to move higher in the direction of $2,700, $800. Two levels to watch here, guys, 2,470 and to the upside 2,527. Depending on which level we are breaking, we are then taking action accordingly. Here, one of the trades that actually surprised me today. So if you paid attention yesterday, you could have still gotten into this trade. And here, API 3. People in the Discord made all money on this trade, which is amazing. It just took 2 days to play out. And I did not expect that we're going to shoot up that high. So if somebody of you were able and were riding this all the way to the top here, then you made, in a matter of 2 days, 25% on 10x leverage, is 250% on that simple trade here. So even if you did not catch the top, but you're still in it, then you are at 22%, and I highly recommend you to take profit here, because stochastic RSI is at the top, MACD is still wide open, which could mean that we see a little more of a push, but also the RSI is pretty high here already. So the top is here really, really close, so I would be careful here. And you see here all these corrections all the time when we are getting a top, you know, so here top, correction, top, correction, top, correction. So this will also happen here now. Top here somewhere, correction. Now, when we're looking at the size of the correction, so here it was 38% more or less. Here was 23. So it gets more and more shallow the higher that we go. 23, 17. So I would now expect like 15, something like this. So let's say we get a 15% retracement. Or maybe a little bit lower. Like 16. So $3.17. So you could technically look already at shorts here, because see the 4-hourly time frame is already insanely overheated. Let's see how the daily looks. Okay, on the daily we have still a lot of room to go to the upside. So if we break the Monday high, we keep pumping, in my opinion. If we get further rejected from that, then we most likely get a slow bleed to like $3.20, $3.17, something like that. So just watch the Monday high. When the Monday high is broken, that would be my next entry point. And then let me go back into a 4-hourly chart. Yeah, so $4.02 would be my next target here on the Fibonacci extensions. If we keep pumping here, but again, wait for the Monday high to be broken, which is around $3.80. So we're talking here about a potential 8, 9, 10% move here into that golden ratio if we pump here higher. Otherwise, if we're coming down here, 0.786 would be a good level to re-enter this trade at $3.25. Here on AVAX, as I said, we actually hit the target here. Around the Monday low could be also a good new entry to long AVAX. If I go to a 4-hourly chart, you see we are on a stochastic here already at the bottom. We could continue to range here a little bit before we push higher, but it would be not a bad idea to enter here around $38 more or less. Then DYDX is here coming back to our entry, so I'm actually glad that I got out of it here close to the top. I might reconsider entering it just at a later stage because here on the daily we are right now in a downwards trend. Also here this looks like a topping formation to me, so we could come back down to like $2.60 more or less to retest the downward sloping trend line and bounce from there back to the upside. So in that case, the only thing that I would do is I move here the entry lower, do something like this. So then I have here a target of 37.53% with a 4.4% of a stop loss, 1 to 8.53 risk to reward ratio, so which is insanely good. And that I might just play on spot or with super low leverage, maximum like 5x or something. That would be almost 200% of a profit to the upside with 22% of a stop loss to the downside. So I would not play this with super high leverage. LDO also disappointing. Like DYDX, here we are slightly under the entry that we had. But again, as long as the Monday low is holding, I expect here a bounce back to the upside. And then finally a break of $3.04. Once we are getting this, this thing is going to moon like API free, in my opinion. So really quickly here, I don't really see that we are going much lower, even though the stochastic eye is still coming a little bit lower. The MACD is also a little bit weakening here, but the RSI is going sideways and starts to turn around here already. So I think the stochastic will follow in the next 24 hours and also make a turnaround. And we will see then a continuation to the upside here. Also here on the 4-hourly chart, we are already at the bottom. So which also shows me that in the worst case, we start ranging here a little bit before we get the next leg to the upside. And here I might add a little bit more to my existing position that I have already. Then here RNDR. RNDR got also massively rejected from the golden ratio here again yesterday. So if I would be looking for a new entry, let me go to 4-hourly chart. I would be looking at $4.39, $4.24 around these levels for a new entry, because the RSI is still downwards trending. The MACD is still bearish. We are here flatlining at the bottom. So this can still go on for like another 4-8 hours where we could see a quick sweep to the downside and then actually come back up, reverse, and do something like this. And also what I don't like is that we're here above that downward sloping trend line from the Fibonacci level. So I would like to see price action to be above that. If we are now going sideways and move sideways out of it here at some point, or if we do it with a straight push, that really doesn't matter for me. But I'm waiting here either that we are touching these lower levels or that we are breaking this downwards trending trend line of the Fibonacci levels. And that's it already for today's episode, guys. Wait 1 second. I wanted to talk about also Solana really quick. So Solana, I'm still looking at playing Solana. Yesterday I got stopped out of my position, which is fine. It happens from time to time. And here I'm looking at here at $102.50. So another $2 to the downside. And also here at $104. So this is my buy zone here for Solana for the time being, because on the 1 hourly, we want already to go back up here. On the 4 hourly, we are still a little bit bearish. So here I'm a little bit careful, but maybe after this candle close, I will be willing to potentially enter this. But here on the 12 hourly, you see there's still more downside, and also on the daily. So there might be also just a scalp that I'm going to trade back to like $110 or something like this. But nothing crazy for the time being. If we break here under $102, the next level that I will be looking at to buy will be actually here at 95 and even lower than that. Here $89. That will be then the next level where I will be looking at to add to my position. So I might start building a position here, but if it goes then here into this area down here, that will be then the area where I really gonna deploy capital into Solana. That's it now for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I apologize that it was a little bit later than usual, but I fell asleep upstairs. I did not intend to have a nap. It just happened, so that's why it's a little bit later. But again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you then again tomorrow.